Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, our focus is chew your food. And if you're like, yeah, we learned to do this as infants, I get it. And I also hear from too many people I meet and people who send me messages and tell me that they are experiencing gastric upset and bloating and gas and reflux and heartburn and all the things. And a key factor in all of these is actually not chewing our food enough, which fits part and parcel with eating quickly. So it all fits together. And yes, chewing is one of the top things you can do to support or improve your gut health. Now, if you recall, we did an episode called Where Does the Food Go? And in that episode, we talked about digestion and that digestion actually starts in the mouth. When we chew, our salivary glands release enzymes that start to break down the food, making the food easier to digest, and it triggers the stomach and other parts of the GI tract to prepare and get ready for food. So what this means is that when we don't chew our food enough, not only can we have all of those gastric symptoms and potentially even a choking hazard every time we eat, but we can actually have reduced nutrient absorption. Some of that can happen in the mouth while we're chewing, or masticate, as they say, right? But also signaling other parts of the GI tract is critical for nutrient absorption. So you may not know this, but chewing also supports dental health. It not only strengthens the teeth, but also helps prevent tooth decay because that same saliva that helps with breakdown helps, those enzymes help trigger sort of like a cleaning out of the bacteria in the mouth as well. So I know what you're thinking. How many times do I have to chew? Right? You're slowing me down. How much are you slowing me down? And the truth is, it depends. It depends on what we're eating. And different experts will say different things. I think general consensus is about 32 times. With that said, if it's something like mashed potatoes, which you might have this time of year with all of the holidays, or even like softer, more watery fruits, you might only need like 5 or 10 times compared to things like steak or nuts, where there was a study where it recommended 40 times. So it's not really a hard and fast rule. Essentially, you want to chew till the food loses its original texture and technically till it's liquefied. I mean, for most of us, we don't do it that long. But when you're ready to swallow the food, it should be soft, easy to swallow. If you find that you need water to help something go down, it's a sign we didn't chew enough, And I think it might seem annoying, but I also think you'll find it helps. It helps us feel better physically with less discomfort in the gut. I think potentially helps us absorb those nutrients from the food, like we said, and it also slows us down. So there are studies about chewing more, and that because that slows down the pace of our eating, it can translate into healthier portions and more mindful eating. And then, because everything relates, it actually brings us back to this week's episode where we talked about emotional eating. And I think when that happens, we're not really present when we're eating. We're really, mentally somewhere else. And so focusing on the chewing can help us realize that we're actually eating. It can help us taste the food and enjoy it. And so that's why I want to talk about this now, because we're in this holiday season where we're likely eating things and surrounded by foods that we may not see other times of the year. And life isn't about avoiding things that we enjoy, right? We want to choose them and enjoy them and chew them and see what happens. So I hope you'll try a little experiment with chewing. It doesn't have to be a set number of times, but somewhere in that 5 to 40 range, depending on what you're eating. And you might need to put a Post-it on the table somewhere to remind you to chew when you eat because, change is hard, right? But let's just see what happens. Like everything, we're going to approach it, as we talked about this week, with curiosity and see what happens. And so, Dr. Melissa McCreary, I'm so glad you're here for this. What do you want to add about chewing our food?
I love this topic. I think it's so interesting. On the one hand, So many women struggle with eating more than they want to. And part of the story they have in their head is because it's so good and I want to taste it. And yet we have this resistance to being present and really tasting our food. So yeah, I mean, what's the downside to slowing down? And if you're somebody, I mean, I'm thinking I will never sit here and count the number of times that I chew my food.
Never. Me
But
either.
I could wrap my mind around, like, you know what I'm going to do today at dinner? I'm going to chew more. I'm going to chew more. See what it's like, right? Like, how much more present will I be if I chew more? I like that.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, there you have it, friends. Nutrition Nugget, chew. Simply chew your food. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I am at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. This is your personal invitation. Send me a message. I want to hear your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. Dr. Melissa McCreary, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good, it was. And friends, if you're not already, join our membership by going to glow.fm/saladwithasideoffries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, it supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for sausage and green soup, Dr. McCreary's bonus called Taking Your Power Back from Hidden Hungers Over the Holidays, and your quarterly live Q&A, which is just you and me, a one-on-one. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.